Hello YouTubers, this is MediaShinobi. Here today we got ssjgojira and TheJSAWprocess. We're going to talk to you about The Legend of Korra, episode 4, A Voice in the Night. It's probably, Chris's voice moaning and wailing, forever alone in his house. Only a picture of Amon, just wants to get it on night long.
So in comparison to the first 3 episodes, this episode, in terms of pace, is slightly slower. However, this is not necessarily a bad thing, because it did take its time to introduce a few new variables, along with building off of the elements introduced in the series. No pun intended.
Terrible. You gotta leave the jokes to me, Jan.
One of these variables happens to be the introduction of a few new characters. One of them is named Asami Saito, who happens to be the daughter of Hiroshi Saito, who is the founder of Saito Industries, which is responsible for Saito Mobiles. But anyway, this is really notable due to the fact that she was introduced as a possible love interest for Mako, which makes the overall romance in the entire series even more complicated than it has to be. So far, it seems Bolin likes Korra, Korra likes Mako, Mako is infatuated with Asami, and it seems like she actually has the same feelings for Mako, so yeah.
Basically high school all over again, What if Korra gets impregnated by Amon,
Avatar teenage mother.
Amon,
Avatar
teenage-
/ chi bender.
That's overkill. That's overkill.
Overkill.
This is still a Nickelodeon show, right?
Yeah, it is. No,
So I don't consider this a
no,
child show
MTV
anymore.
didn't buy the rights,
So
We also get introduced to a new character named Korra, who's actually a counselor for Republic City that represents the Northern Water Tribe. And he actually wants to enlist Korra into his task force, which is basically like a team bent on taking down Amon. And at first, Korra declines on, his offer to join because, she first states that she just wants to focus on airbending. But prior to that, though, we actually see a scene where Korra actually has a nightmare of Amon taking away her bending. And the thought of that actually terrifies her to the point where she's just paranoid and terrified every time she even sees the poster of Amon or even hears him in the radio. So Korrak actually decides to invite her to a gala, but this was actually a trap. So basically, Korrak pretty much pushed her into a corner and, in a way, forced her into joining his task force. And we can tell that Korra is kind of, doesn't want to be involved, but since she is the Avatar, she has a whole responsibility to protect the city, and Korra used that as an advantage to, make her join.
So we finally get to see the task force in action because they participated in a raid in order to infiltrate a chi blocking training facility in order to weaken Amon's forces. This particular scene is pretty interesting due to the fact that this scene can kind of be considered police brutality, in my opinion. They were, and by they, I mean the members and Korra herself were being a little bit more aggressive, more than usual. And obviously they won because it was kind of an ass whooping because the majority of the people, it was complete ass whooping.
They got jumped.
Yeah, it was pretty much a jump. The majority of these people were actually just like novices that barely knew how to chi block with a few grunts. But other than that, it was an ass whooping. So this raid was a success, and presumably a few days later, they are in a press conference where Korra actually took this opportunity. Pretty much her cojones said like, "Oh, Amon, I'm gonna challenge you one-on-one to a duel at midnight at the memorial for Avatar Aang, the island." And yeah, I honestly thought that was weird.
I guess she tried to take to the approach where try to face her fears head on. I understand that, but first of all, again, she could barely take on like at least 2 grunts by herself. She could barely take on them.
she was cocky, man.
She was cocky, and
She didn't even master all the elements yet.
and it was very reckless of her because again, this is Amon. He's the leader of the chi blockers, and the fact that she's having a hard time dealing with one grunt. Oh, no.
It's not gonna look right.
No. Alright, so Korra finally goes to the island, and she waits until midnight, and Amon hasn't shown up. So thinking that Amon has chickened out, she decides to leave, but before she can leave, she gets ambushed by a whole group of chi blockers, and she held on for like a couple seconds before finally being subdued. And while they finally had her, held her down, completely blocked off her bending, Amon comes out, and it looks as if he was gonna take away her bending, but he decides not to. He decides to make one of the scariest sets I've ever seen where he says, you know what? He basically said this: I could take your bending right now. I could kill you right now. But I'm not going to because 1, if I kill you right now or take away your bending, you probably will, this defeat of yours will rally more benders together against me. And also the fact that he actually has a plan for her. So he just straight up says to his face, I'm saving you for last. And he pretty much makes it certain, like, yeah, I am going to destroy you. It's like a certainty. It's like, not like a threat. It was he was gonna do it. And it ends with Amon just like hitting her hard enough that she just knocks out, and that resulted in a series of interesting flashbacks.
Yeah, we found it really interesting because one, we finally get to see the adult versions of some of these characters,
From the original series.
Yeah, there's Sokka.
Who looked like his dad.
Yeah, there's Toph.
Just taller and more woman looking.
Oh.
Yeah. We have Aang.
Yeah, he became a man. He has a big...
I hit that.
He has facial... What?
What? What?
But also we have one more character we have no idea of. We assume though is Yukon, perhaps?
Yeah, and Yukon is actually a character they talked about early on of the episode where Korra actually says that Avatar Aang dealt with someone named Yukon 42 years ago. And apparently Yukon's like the big threat of Republic City back in the day when Aang was still alive. So, and the fact that they gave us a name and a random face that we'd never seen before, they're probably going to go back to it. And Yukon possibly has some relation to maybe Amon, but maybe we're just overthinking it too much. But it's another thing we should think about, because why would they give us a name and a face at the same episode? A name, okay, understand, but a face also we've never seen before. That's something that we can think about. And also, Aang apparently looks serious in this flashbacks.
Mm-hmm. His innocent looks from like the original series is completely gone. Those hopeful eyes are gone. He looks super serious, dead on, badass mode.
Yeah, especially when he was charging at something, but we don't know because the flashback ends at that point. It was a really fast flashback. It was like gone, done, and so you have to be quick on seeing that. But yeah, that was very interesting. And the episode basically ends with Tenzin seeing Korra unconscious. Korra just breaks down in tears, saying that she was just so terrified, and she finally admits that yeah, she is scared of Amon. She's scared of what he's capable of, and we never seen this in Korra before. We've always seen her as I know it's been only like 4 episodes, but we've always seen her, confident. Even when she was little, she was, tough, strong. Nothing scared her. She was able to take on any challenge. But to see her so vulnerable at this point was very surprising. Actually, it's pretty heartfelt and sad.
Oh, so cute.
I want to hug her. I want to give her a big Avatar hug. So, is there anything you like about this episode in particular?
Yeah, it's great. Once again, just like the previous episode, I found nothing to be disappointed about. Like, it was good.
Yeah, and it is a slower pace, but still, it doesn't really, hurt the episode at all. And I know we say that often, and we're trying to find something bad about the episode, but we want to review it properly, and we are pretty picky people, though. So I'm kind of happy that we're having a hard time finding it. Can't find anything wrong about it. We really can't.
You sure about that?
Yeah.
What about the, leaks or rumors, or we want more, or the other love interests.
Alright,
I want her to be with him, not, or maybe it's a him, actually, him and him, or her and her, or maybe a 3 triangle.
That's
4.
terrible. You're a terrible person.
What if it wasn't on Nick, would you guys want to go a different
HBO
direction?
or something?
I wouldn't mind just because it's like, does it really matter?
We watch anime often, so it doesn't really bother us as often. But I'm kind of happy they're going with this route because it's not gonna most animes kind of go with that, so it's a good change of pace. So any last thoughts?
So far it's 4 episodes in. We have a lot more to come, so yes.
Can't wait. And oh yeah, one more thing. One thing I particularly like about this episode is just Amon's threat to Korra at the end.
Yes.
Was it a threat? It was more like, I love you, I'm not gonna kill you.
Terrible. No.
I have plans for you, I'm gonna impregnate you.
This is not 16 and pregnant.
You know that nightmare? It was a wet dream.
You're a terrible person. Ugh.
I mean, if you think about it, it makes sense.
No, it does not.
And he's too embarrassed to see her in, face to face, so he wears a mask. I mean,
so
didn't she wake up screaming?
Screaming.
What's wrong with
Screaming.
this?
You're a terrible person. You're a terrible person. You're a horrible person. And you just plain suck, alright?
What'd I do?
You know what you did.
If you guys don't know, but we also have pedophile, necrophilia,
013.
X loner.
Off screen.
Zombie fanatic, necrophilia, all things undead.
What?
Don't listen to him, he's not gonna talk about Firefly. Any last words, guys?
So, like I said, yeah, the way Amon threatened Korra at the end of the episode was, I don't know why, but this seems different compared to most threats. Where you know how the villain says, "Yeah, I have a chance to kill you right now, but I'm not gonna."
You.
Why?
Continue.
Continue.
Why?
Continue.
Let's go. Why? You're getting distracted.
He keeps interrupting.
And ignore it.
That's my job.
You're a terrible cameraman.
Continue.
Fine.
Oh.
I'm threatening you because I love you very much. Continue.
I don't want to do it.
Don't get cold feet,
So
man.
unprofessional.
Oh.
Just say what you were trying to say.
Nah, I'm good. I'm good.
No, just say it.
No, I don't
just
want
say it.
I don't want
Say it.
I don't want
The threat was very different. It was like serious because he was in love with her.
You know, bro, I'm not even gonna say it.
I'm gonna make things worse if you don't continue
Just
it.
continue.
End the video right now.
Please subscribe and comment, thumbs up. We will see you guys and girls later.
I hate them all. I just got a question, you guys.
Somebody call my mama.
What happened to Zuko's mom? Why would you do that? Why would you teach? Can you? I just imagine you guys just going in your room or your office and just say, "Hey, Brian, what do you want? How do you want to mess with the fandom today?" Oh, I don't know. Even though I only have
Zuko's
the
mom.
series in all, it's gonna have 26 episodes. It could be better. And again, I do like the original series to death, but I'm just saying, where are they going with this series? It could really, surpass.
So yeah, in comparison to the first 3 episodes, this episode was slightly slower in terms of pace. This is not necessarily a bad thing, but
I will murder you! Murder!
We have evidence that black guy
what I
is
have to
killing
deal
a
with?
white guy.